Do you think there's any way of knowing if dogs experience time in the same way that we do? You know, we've gone for 2 hours. If I say to my children, for example, I'm going to be gone for 2 hours, there's an awareness, there's a level of awareness. They know 2 hours to them seems like an eternity. And actually probably feels like for them 2 hours feels longer than in reality it is.
Mm-hmm.
Similar with dogs, do you think, or do you think time is, well, it's irrelevant to them?
I mean, I think they obviously, I don't know if they think about the concept of time, because I don't know if it's especially useful for them, but I think they know times of day in terms of, you know, the light, the changes in the atmosphere, the changes, because Mother Nature would be like, okay, it's time to go out hunting now. You know, the rabbits are out, it's dusk, you know, those kinds of things. I think they're going to be aware of that, but quite whether we obviously can't communicate to them when we're going to be 2 hours, because that is a man-made concept anyway, you know, the idea of an hour.
Although we probably do, I mean, I do. I say to my dogs, I'll be back in half an hour. Like they know, of course.
That's part of your maintenance.
That's part of my mental health.
I think
if we're honest.
It's fair to say that, you know, when you're asleep, you're not really aware of the passing of time. When you're having fun, you know, that old saying, time flies when you're having fun, you're not aware, you know, where did the time go? And we all say that, you know, so I don't think that it's unusual to think if a dog's busy doing something, they're not going to be thinking about the hours ticking away. But I think if they're sat there, if you've ever sat there waiting, you know, even if you know that your appointment or whatever it is at such and such a time, but you're waiting, it is the most boring thing. And boring is there is nothing rewarding to do. You know, that's basically what boredom is. You know, there's nothing more rewarding in this environment for me to do. So I think that rather than think about it as the concept of time, I would think of it in the concept of activity. And they don't have to be 100% active all the time. They do need to sleep. But even sleeping is a thing to do, right? So if they've done their sleep, and they've had their toy, and then they have, you know, nothing else to do, that's when we start to think about, okay, that's not fair, because their concept of activity and just having things to do runs out after a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, that's actually really useful, because you were talking about, you know, enjoying or being bored and time changing almost. If I go for a run for half an hour and I'm not really feeling like I want to, that's a long half an hour.
Yeah.
Couch with a bar of chocolate for half an hour, that goes pretty quickly because I'm really enjoying that. And I guess it's the same thing with dogs. If they're enjoying themselves, whether that be sleeping, eating, playing, being, if they're happy, time's fine.
Yeah, and I mean, it's possible to overstimulate them. I mean, you can, like, it's like us again, if you're doing something that's very activating for a long time, you're going to get tired, you know. So it's kind of, I would say, if we're trying to pan out our dog's day, rather than going, okay, it's 2 hours of this and then an hour of that, think, okay, how much brain exercise is my dog getting? How much physical exercise is my dog getting? And how much rest is my dog getting? It's rest that they need. You know, they need lots of rest. Dogs sleep a lot, but they don't sleep for 6 hours at a stretch in the daytime and then another 6 hours a stretch. You know, that isn't usual. I mean, maybe if they're very, very old, and puppies will sleep for a long time. But again, it's in short bursts. So it's a case of knowing your dog, you know, and are they just sleeping? Particularly, I think you see this with cats a lot. If they're quite depressed and unhappy, they will sleep a lot. So it's not necessarily a good thing. So again, if you can balance out the time you've got to spend away from the house, you know, like I say, in a magic world, we'd all be around our pets all the time. But even then, in lockdown, we've all got a bit fed up, haven't we? Same four walls, you know, same pressure, same, you know, so variety is good. And part of that variety needs to be rest. So I would try and coincide my times of being away with my dog's times of some things to do by themselves and rest. And then that way, when I'm back, we're together. And if I can't provide that, then I would ask someone else to help me with that, just because I know that's what my animals need, you know. And it's not a perfect world, I accept that, but it does prevent an awful lot of the sort of negatives that might come along with it.